welcome back to the René Parish channel for another live stream on this lovely Thursday. I'm super excited for today's live stream because it will be an alopecia awareness themed live stream because this month is Alopecia Awareness Month. So I will be having a very special guest joining us in just a moment who is someone else who also has alopecia, and she's just really awesome in general. So we're just going to have a little conversation on here, maybe do like a little bit of a Q&A if anyone wants to pitch in and ask some questions. But I'm super excited for this. I always love getting to have guests join on these live streams because it's really just great to hear someone else's perspective on their hair or wig journey as well. So I always just love having other input as well. And it's just such a fun way to just have a conversation, just incorporate everyone in the community. So I'm just gonna add her to the live stream now, and then she can just introduce herself as well. So let me see. Hello! How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining this live stream. I'm so excited to have you on here.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yeah, okay, so for starters, do you wanna just introduce yourself to everybody?
Okay, so hi guys, I'm Salas Ader. I love to do content creating. I love doing makeup looks. I love to do wigs for fun, and I also tattoo on the side of that. But yeah, I'm excited to talk stories at you.
Yes. I'm so excited for all that as well. And also, I just realized you were a tattoo artist, which is so awesome. So I'm probably definitely going to ask you some questions about that later and how you got into that, because your art is really cool.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, for starters, I guess just do you want to talk about your journey with alopecia? Like when did you start losing your hair, and what type of alopecia do you have?
So I started my alopecia journey when I was at the age of 1. My parents told me like I started losing patches of hair, and growing up, they didn't know what it was, and doctors didn't know what it was, I guess, back then. And throughout school, like I had to wear a hat a lot. So I like when I was like probably 3 or 4, I didn't know that I had a different appearance until like I got bullied. So it was a very like hard thing to like deal with. And yeah, my alopecia, I think I went through like 3 different types, because there was one point where I had no hair at all, and then parts where I had patches of hair, and then I think I have the alopecia areata.
Yeah, there's so many different types, and I feel like it's very common for a lot of people to kind of shift between them too. So you do have a patch back there right now?
Yeah, so like my head's all patched up.
I love it. I honestly love the patchy look. I feel like it looks so cute. I sometimes have patches too, but I shaved it about a year ago because I was trying to do a cosplay look that involved like a totally shaved head.
Oh.
But then it was weird because they didn't actually end up growing back after that. So I was like, that's interesting.
I know, my patches grow back so fast, and I get so lazy to shave it. So it's so.
I honestly feel like it looks really cute. And whenever I do have patches, I feel like it's just like soft to touch sometimes. So I'm just like. So you talked about like it being a little bit hard going through school. Like what was that like? Do you feel like what was it like for you?
It was really tough. I feel like elementary, it was very rough because I didn't know how to deal with my appearance, especially when kids were asking me like, why were you wearing a hat a lot? Or like, why are you bald in the back of your head? Like, there was all those questions. And by the time I was in middle school, that's when I had to wear a wig a lot. So it was a lot to deal with. I had to prepare with like, the simple basic like answers all the time. And I think through the middle school, high school, you go through awkward stages, and that's where like I kind of like lost confidence. But at the end of my high school years, I used all the strength that I basically had, and all the like, the bullying, the appearance, like change and all that. I used that as a confidence boost. So I didn't like wear a wig my junior and senior year because I don't know, I was like kind of over wearing wigs, especially in the hot heat here in Hawaii. I was like,
yeah, because you live in Hawaii too. Which
yes,
is really cool.
I was like, too hot to wear a wig, and I was just fun. So, like now, I wear my wigs for fun, and I use it for pictures sometimes. But at time to time, like I can't wear it daily because it's too hot here. But yeah, I guess now, like as I'm older, like I look back at my journey and I use that as like a confidence boost, like you made it here and like you're strong.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
exactly.
So
It's like something that used to maybe scare you or make you feel uncomfortable. Just being able to kind of power through that, even if you're uncomfortable while you're powering through it. Once you get
mhm,
through to the other side, it's like, hey, I did that. That's great.
yeah.
Do you
So
remember? Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
I was just saying like I used my past as like a stepping stone. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like there was like what was the moment where you maybe went to school for the first time without a wig and like how did that
Oh,
feel for you?
oh my gosh. Well, I kind of did baby steps because
Hmm.
my junior year or so, I removed the wig and I remember I started wearing beanies. So I wore a
Okay.
thick beanie and that was like the worst thing because it was super hot that day.
Hmm. Oh no, yeah, in Hawaii too, trying to wear a beanie in Hawaii.
So I was wearing beanies for a while and then just like I think the first day or first week of my senior year was when I started being bald. And I was very scared, but honestly, like all the kids that I like went to school with, like I grew up with. So it's like they knew that I was like, you know, already with a hair loss, but I was just like scared. So
Hmm.
senior year was probably like the day that or senior year was like the year that I started like posting a lot on social media and like that's when I wanted to like share my self-confidence and you know share my story and help others be comfortable in their own appearance as well. So
Yeah, that's really great, and I'm sure your page has done so much to do exactly that. And it's like you don't even need to actively post about having alopecia or anything. It's just like
mhm.
existing as someone who's bald. It's just like, oh hey, this is normal. You can just like live your life and be
Oh,
confident and look great and feel great, and you
mhm,
don't have to like do anything to
mhm.
to change that. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
but I honestly love like how now there's so many like you know people with hair losses that are so comfortable. Like I
yeah,
didn't have that when I was like little, so I love seeing it all over like social media and like magazines and stuff. I'm like,
it's
sure.
amazing. I completely relate to that too. It's like with social media, even with like reality TV, and
Oh
there's a lot of
yeah.
models now with alopecia. Just seeing it everywhere is so exciting.
Yeah.
Especially even on like TikTok, I feel like there's a lot of like TikTok influencers that
Yeah.
have gotten really big that are just like
I see
have
all
alopecia.
yeah, it's so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like so proud. I'm like, yes, go hair loss, like baddies, like I love it.
Exactly, and I feel like it just really helps to normalize it. Like I can't even imagine when we were both growing up and we were younger having
Yeah.
something like that and the impact
Mm-hmm.
that's having on kids of like the younger generation who have alopecia.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Wait,
so amazing.
when did you started like having your alopecia? Like,
So my hair fell out, but probably about the same age. So I think it started falling out when I was around like 2 or 3. So
oh,
I've had alopecia pretty much my whole life.
mhm.
And then, uh, yeah, I feel like my wig journey in particular with becoming confident with it was really about like even just being able to talk about it. Because when I wore wigs through like middle school and high school, I would always just wear one wig style and never change it. And if
No,
anyone asked me, I'd be like, no, this is my hair. Like, and
no. I did
yeah,
the same thing in middle school. Like I had the same school photo. I was like, you know, like during the summer, how girls like change their hairstyles. I'm like,
yeah.
if they notice that I have the same hairstyle and
It's like
they're
you wear
like,
the same one all the time to make it look natural, and then it's so that almost makes it more
oh, that's so funny.
obvious. That's so funny.
Yeah, so like eighth grade year till I think my junior year was I had the same hair like throughout all my school IDs. I was like, does anyone ever notice? Like,
It's just like never any longer, never any
oh,
shorter.
so
That's so funny. Do you
that's
feel like people in your school like knew that you were wearing a wig and just like
I think so because I feel like I didn't know how to wear like lace fronts, so I did not know how to glue. Like I had the straps all the time,
Mhm.
and I feel like during PE is like the worst for me because
Oh
I couldn't
gosh.
a ponytail or like I had to have a headband. Like it was like a whole
Gym
another.
class is just brutal.
It was so brutal. Like sweating and like the wig falling. Oh, I was like
I
stressing
feel like
out.
that's part of the reason I always stuck with short wigs in school, so I wouldn't have to deal with tying it back for
Yeah,
gym class.
yes. I always had like a shoulder length like bob and
Mhm.
because bangs, my eyebrows would like fall off sometimes. So like bangs was like my best friend
Like a
with wigs.
lifesaver with the brows and with like the hairline. It's like, oh, with
Mhm.
bangs, you don't even have to worry about it.
That's so true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Like that's like a whole routine that was like so different in school that I had to deal with.
Yeah.
But
Do you mean with the wig specifically or with like makeup stuff too?
so I didn't wear makeup in, well, I think like seventh grade, my mom had to draw on my eyebrows because I
Hmm.
had, so I remember like waking up at like 6 in the morning and my mom's like drawing my eyebrows before her work. And I'm
That's so
like
funny.
half asleep, and that was like a whole nother routine in the mornings. I was like,
Wow.
it's too much. But
I wish someone would draw my eyebrows on for me every morning.
no, yeah, that's why like now I guess I know how to draw my eyebrows out because I knew how to map it. But
Hmm.
yeah, like that was a whole nother like I don't think people even knew that like even my friends, I don't think they knew that I had to like do that in the morning and then put my wig on, had the tape, and
Hmm.
yeah, that was like very stressful.
Yeah, it's so interesting when you're like the only person that you know of with alopecia. It's like no one can really relate. Like even if
Yeah,
you tell them about the process that you have to deal with, they can't relate to that directly.
yeah,
And that can
like
just make it feel even more like alienating sometimes.
yeah, that was, I think school was so hard to deal with, especially like my dress code in school was having no hats. So apparently I was able to have a hat, and like,
Okay,
they
good. They didn't push it.
were like, why did she get to wear a hat? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I
Leads to
can't.
even more questions. It's like, no,
Yeah,
just
like, I'm special.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
any little thing you try to do, it just like leads to more people asking questions. Especially
Oh,
in a school setting, it's so scary because you're always around like all the same people, and you're in like close quarters all the time. So you never really
yeah.
get like your space.
So nerve-wracking, just like you're on your toes a lot, like especially with a wig. Like I don't know, I guess like, kids don't, teenagers and stuff, like they don't care. So they will like, bump you. They don't care if like your wig slides and then you're like trying to adjust it. Like
Hmm.
there's so many things that happen to me. Like it's kind of traumatizing, but yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
It's like the struggles of all that, and even just like worrying throughout the day, sitting in class being like, is it straight? I gotta check the mirror. It's like between classes, like stopping in the bathroom or something on the way,
Mm-hmm.
like just to take
Yeah.
a quick check.
Oh my God. Those are like memories that's like I haven't like even talked about. That's so crazy that you mentioned those things.
Yeah, it's like just like, no, just leave those in the past. It's
Mhm.
someone I feel like with alopecia confidence, I feel like it's probably relatable for a lot of people. I don't know if this applies to you too, but how just graduating high school alone can do so much because you're just like not in that world anymore where everyone's so judgmental. It's like as
Yeah.
soon as you go into like the real world, it's already automatically a lot easier, I think.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was the way for you
Like
too?
it's a lot of weight off your shoulders, I guess. Like after high school, I was so happy that like I didn't have to like be very aware and cautious of like, the appearance and all. So yeah, that's something I had to like it was a big like adjustment, and I was like happy for, you know, big crowds are not a big crowds are not a good thing for me.
Yeah. It's like you can just choose the people you want to be around after high
Yeah.
school. You don't have to like be around people
Oh
that
yeah.
are
Yeah,
gonna make you uncomfortable.
I
Yeah, definitely. So, were there things that you did to like make yourself feel more confident with the shaved head look? Because I feel like for me, sometimes it's hard to get. But like when I was getting myself more used to seeing myself with a shaved head look, I just had to get used to seeing it. You know what I mean? So, were there
um
things that you did to kind of like build up your confidence?
um I don't know. I guess like I liked being at the beach. I was always like bald, so I kind of like how it looked when I take like photos, and
Hmm.
I kind of liked feeling like I was like not unique, but like different. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
girls, like go with trends, but I feel like having the bald look, like you can do any kind of thing. Like you can do anything, like with makeup, with like, like appear, like wrap your, like you can do a wrap, and you can wear a wig, different color wigs, like you can do anything. So I thought
Hmm.
it was, I don't know, I kind of like the hoop signature. I was always a hoop girl, so
I love pairing earrings
here,
with the shaved head look. It looks so good. Like that looks so good right now.
I
That's
love
so
it.
true. What you said about taking photos too, I feel like it's such a good tip to just like take photos, feel yourself, just like feel good in the photos. That just really helps like build your confidence if that's something that like something that person likes to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I
like accessorizing.
the makeup, like it brightens out your makeup, if that makes sense. Like if you wear like eyeshadow, like colorful eyeshadow and stuff, it brightens out, like it stands out, you know?
Yeah, because I guess the hair is not like covering it. It's
Yeah.
like all the attention just goes straight to your face.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. There's so many things that I feel like the bald look has like a good signature look, and I feel like with fashion too, like with outfits, like it makes like you can have like no makeup on and like a nice outfit with the bald look, like that would be a whole like
I
that's
love that look. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was gonna ask you too if you feel like having the shaved head look also influences your fashion. Like, do you feel like you go for certain like pieces that you think specifically would look good with the shaved head look?
yes, I kind of like when it comes to like brands like asking for outfits by me, like I kind of go with I don't know how to explain it. Like when it comes to like you know how magazines how they have like you know the models with like such extravagant looks. I like to make sure like it balances with the bald look.
Mm-hmm.
So most of my outfits like I try to coordinate, you know, on Pinterest and try to make sure it matches like my skin tone and like my head shape. So
Yeah,
yeah, those are
I
the
love
things.
that.
Hmm.
And I like what you said about it being a unique feature too. And I feel like that's something that really helped me to focus on because it's like, this is so cool. It's just like automatically something that makes you stand out. And it's just
Yeah.
like a cool, like signature feature.
And I feel like after high school, like I realized that no one cares on your like they will stare at you. I'm like used to being stared at a lot.
Mm-hmm.
but like but like that was something like I got used to and I felt like, you know, as like as people look at me, like I feel like they're probably like curious, so I don't think it as a negative way, but I don't know. I like the, you know, unique look. My I guess I rarely see like alopecia people here, so you know, I feel like it's unique in my way because in my circle there's like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And including where I am, I haven't really met like many other people at all with alopecia. So it's like, it's interesting. Have you met many other people with alopecia? Like gone to like meetup groups or anything like that?
This past summer I met like one of my internet friends. She was visiting down here and she just like she had like a probably 20 minutes to spare and she like came by right after I finished work and like we took a picture. I'm like, "You're so tall." Like they all tall. And I'm like, "No, I'm only like 5 feet." And they're like, "Your head is like perfectly shaped in person." Oh my God, thank you. But
That's so awesome.
like I do want to meet like you know those alopecia conventions that they have. Like
Yeah.
that seems so fun to go to.
Yeah,
But
I've only gone to that once before when I was like 5 or 6. My mom took me to it, and I barely even remember it because I
oh,
was
really?
so young. But
Mhm.
I've always wanted to go back and just like haven't had the opportunity to yet. But that is like, we should go at the same year someday so we can meet each
Yeah,
other.
we can like you know take the photos and stuff.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I've never like, I would love to just do that, get together with a bunch of other like shaved head, like baldy
Yeah,
girls and just like take our cute pictures. Like, I've never
and
gotten to do that before.
like their stories. I'm like I love like sharing my story to people, but I love listening to other people's stories. So
Yeah.
oh, I want to
Yeah.
go. I'll save up.
Yeah, right. It's like I feel like one of these days it'll just be like, okay, this is the year. But I
Hmm.
know that like the alopecia, I forget exactly what they're called, their organization. I know they have like different community groups based in different cities.
Hmm.
And they'll have like community leaders based in those cities. And there's actually one in New York that I've been like connecting with recently
Ooh,
that's really cool. And they have monthly Zoom meetings.
ooh.
Um, but they're also having a this is actually exciting for me too because they're having a in-person get together on Friday and I'm going to that. And it'll be my
Oh,
first time like meeting a bunch of other alopecia people like
that's
in person.
oh my gosh. I can't wait to see the photos.
I know, right? Like, it's so cool too because so for with my alopecia journey, like the thing that I took me a really long time to get comfortable with was even just being able to talk about having alopecia and switching up wigs.
Hmm.
And then like getting comfortable online, like taking pictures and
Oh,
stuff without a wig too. And like
mm,
now the thing I'm really trying to work on is going out without a wig. So
okay.
it's like it's funny because I feel like confident in myself without a wig, but then the thing that I have trouble with the most is like the stares and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But I loved what you said a minute ago about how like people are just staring because they're curious, not because they're necessarily thinking anything
Hmm.
negative.
That's so true. Like, I told like my family over the years, like don't give back the bad stares because they're just curious, That's why they're staring. Like, I don't mind like anybody walking up to me and asking me like why I'm bald. Like, I think I'm used to like being asked. So some people think it's rude, and I'm like, no, I don't mind like sharing my story. So yeah, I think it's like I guess like people think, it's rude, but I'm totally open to it because we've had it for so many years. Like it grew callous of like
Yeah, exactly. And
questions.
it's kind of good when those people are able to ask questions of people who are comfortable talking about it, so that they can help to normalize it for people, and then that can help people who are more insecure about it. Like it helps just like everyone get to know that it's a thing that exists, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Like I don't know why, but like now that I'm older now, past like after high school, like I have like a opposite like feeling with wearing wigs in public. Like I feel like more like cautious of like how it looks compared to like, just going out bald. I'm like, I don't care. I will just go out bald. But like I feel like it's the opposite for me. Like when it comes to wearing wigs, I'm so like, like cautious of my appearance. It's like an opposite.
That's so funny. Yeah, I guess it really comes down to like what you're used to, and what you're used to wearing, and what you're used to what you're used to seeing yourself as too. Because even just like seeing yourself look totally different than you're used to, it's like, oh, I have to get used to this. So it's like for me, it can be without a wig, and for you, it's like when you're wearing a wig, it's like So do you feel like there's a way that, like, let's say someone wants to ask a question about alopecia, is there like a proper way to ask about it? Or do you feel like there's a way people shouldn't phrase a question?
I feel like, well, like the general question that I usually get is like why, like, is there a reason why you have only patches? Because I guess they notice my patches a lot. So like when they mention that, that's when I give them my alopecia story. But most of the time, if it's like a brief, like, quick question, then I'll just say like I love my appearance, so I like to have my head shaved. Because like if they're just like asking for, some people don't want to know the whole entire story, and then they're like, alopecia is, and that's another like whole another answer. But
like explain the whole backstory of it.
I usually just say like that I love the shaved look, and they understand, and they're like, wow, it looks so nice on you. I'm like, thanks, and then we go on with our day.
Yeah, I love that. In terms of like makeup stuff too, so right now your eyebrows and lashes are your own natural brows and lashes, but you've gone through like different phases where they've like come and gone, or
So I think middle school, like seventh, eighth grade, and freshman, like seventh grade till my sophomore year, like 10th grade, was like the time where my hair was like falling off and on my eyebrows and my lashes. I think like my lashes was barely there, like you couldn't really see it until like junior and senior year was when my eyebrows and my eyelashes grew back. But yeah, that was like a weird period because I didn't like understand why, like, my eyebrows were patchy, like only the ends were gone. So it was like this the whole time. And like, I feel like now people on social media think like they don't understand that there's different types of alopecia. So some are like, why does she have eyelashes and eyebrows, but she's bald? Like, so I have to explain, like, there's different types of alopecia, and like people, like, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So it's like,
was there like for you, like, did you have like, eyebrows on, off, and like falling off and stuff, or?
Yeah, I feel like my eyebrows and lashes fluctuate a lot too. When I was younger, I feel like I had full lashes and brows, and then over the years, like through middle school and high school, I feel like they would just kind of fluctuate. And right now, I feel like I have some, like these are pencil brows, and then I have fake lashes on right now. But I feel like I do have some brows, but they're just super blonde and super sparse.
Okay.
So it's like, it's funny that even the brow hair I do have is so blonde anyway, you can't see it. So I do just pencil it on. And then with the lashes, I just do the lash glue and stuff. Because I also just like the look of that, like the big lashes.
That's the thing. I don't know how to put like false lashes on, and I have the worst trouble. Like, I saw some girls like put it under their lashes and or over, and I'm like, how do they like, stabilize without it falling off? It's like I have a difficult.
Yeah. I feel like I've never tried to put on lashes before when I had my own lashes. So I'm trying to think like I
Oh,
would be scared to like get the glue in the lashes too.
yeah.
But then I think like the natural lash can also help hold it up kind
Oh,
of too. So it's like I feel like there's
like, to apply since like do you put your eyeliner first before you put your lashes on?
yeah, I usually put the eyeliner first. I just use like a black liquid eyeliner, and then I also use lash glue that dries dark. So if I like mess it up a little, it just kind of like blends right in with the
Oh,
eyeliner, which is nice.
that's nice. I didn't know that they have such a thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's super helpful because I feel like the one that dries clear always dries like with a white tint, and then
Oh,
the one that dries dark just blends really nicely into the eyeliner.
oh, interesting. I didn't know that about the glues.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there. It's awesome. It's like the things that are available. Also thinking about like the things that like growing up with alopecia, like even with like with wigs, with makeup options, how like there weren't really as many options back then, and now
Hmm.
there's just such a wide variety of like products that people can get comfortable
Hmm.
with. So
Oh yeah. Like I've seen some people with like the stencil brows or like,
oh my gosh, there's so many different brow options. It's
like
amazing.
like I love all the options that they have now because all I had when I was like little was a pencil. So
And it's like an eyeliner pencil. It's not
yeah,
even made for brows.
it wasn't even an eyebrow pencil. It was like probably eyeliner for your eye.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like now there's like different pencils, there's pomades, powders, the stencils, those like the temporary tattoos. Have you seen those too?
Mhm. Yeah,
Those are amazing.
so cool. Like there's so many options and varieties. I love that the makeup like industry has like everything.
It's just expanded so much. It's like anything you could think of, it just already exists in the world now. Like, and like all different shades too.
Uh-huh. Like I feel like when it came to eyeliner, when I started wearing eyeliner a lot, it was probably after high school because I feel like I tried to do it in middle school, but I didn't know how to like, cooperate with the eyeliner with like my lashes falling out. So I was
Hmm.
very afraid of that like makeup will make my eyelashes fall out or like my eyebrows. So
Hmm.
I really limited myself with makeup until like senior year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like just in case I don't want to mess with it,
Hmm.
which makes sense.
Oh yeah, like that's a whole nother like makeup thing.
Hmm. Now, do you feel like you like what's your favorite kind of makeup look to do, especially with the shaved head you were talking about earlier, how it really helps like the makeup stand out even more?
I feel like I like to do more of like the natural glam. I feel
Hmm.
like this is like my everyday look if I go out. So I just do blush, highlighter, and then I do like a gloss look with like a winged eyeliner and like a mascara and all that. But that's about it. But if it's for Instagram photos and stuff and I want to do like, some cool makeup looks, I'll like work with color and then I'll try to like like make my outfits like kind of matching with it. So,
Ooh, I love that. I love coordinating all the different like components.
oh yeah, that's like the coolest thing when you're like matching your outfit to your like makeup look. That's like
Yeah, I love
very
that. It's like you have to like plan ahead. It's like it
Oh
takes so
yeah.
much
If
skill.
you're planning it like right now, your room's gonna be like a total mess.
Exactly, like throwing all the clothes in the bed, like gotta find
Mhm.
the options.
Oh,
So for photo shoots too, you said you do sometimes wear wigs for photo shoots?
I usually wear yeah, for Instagram, like when it comes to like selfies or like outfit looks, I try to put in a wig and sometimes like it's fun. I kind of like calling it like dress up, like dressing.
Yeah.
So I like to have the wigs, trying to make it, stand out but look cool. But
Hmm.
I kind of want to start doing that for Halloween because I noticed like
Ooh.
they're trying to make it, costume like design with Halloween and I don't know, it's so hard because there's so many options with us, like you can like dress up as anything. So I don't know, there's so many things that I want to do with my wig and I don't know.
Yeah, I love that there's just so many options though. It's like, and also just so many different ways that a person with alopecia can treat it. It's
Hmm.
like people can choose to either wear a wig every day, they can choose to never wear a wig, or they can choose to just wear it for like special occasions or photo shoots or for costumes. Like I love wearing different wigs for costumes. It's so
Oh
fun.
yeah, I saw your content. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's like killing it with the
Oh my
cosplay.
gosh, thank you. It's just such an opportunity to like incorporate a different look and like
Oh yeah,
incorporate
like
it into a costume.
that's talented. I don't know how you can like put in the editing and the videos and with your costume. I'm like,
Oh
dang.
my gosh, thank
You're welcome. It's so cool
you.
to
Like,
it's so cool to see though, like some like alopecia like content creators, like they can like totally rock the bald look, but they can also rock like the wig look. Like I feel like that's like a good thing about like people with hair losses. Like they can totally match with both, and I think as long as they have the confidence, like they can like wear anything and just be themselves. Like I love the bald look, the wig look. Like you can do
definitely.
anything.
Yeah, and that's the fun of it too, is like you don't have to commit to one. Like you can change it up
Oh yeah.
regularly. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
like you said, you like to sometimes incorporate like wigs into maybe like costumes or Halloween looks or something. And then like I also sometimes will do the opposite too. Like especially now that I'm in the process of trying to get myself more comfortable going out without a wig. What I've been trying
Mm-hmm.
to do lately is to like think of costume ideas without
Ooh,
wigs, like with bald characters, and that's been so much fun too.
that's so fun.
It's just a way to like get used to like training wheels of like getting
Mhm.
yourself used to, in my case, getting myself used to going out without a wig. But
Yeah, that's cool because I think a number one like look that's like what I usually always like for high school I dressed up as Aang
oh my
from
gosh, I love
so
that.
I did like
Ah,
arrow, that was so easy to do.
that's amazing.
There's so many like cool options. Like you can do Mr. Clean, you can do like Aang. There's like I don't know.
I don't
I
know if you know One Punch Man, but I tried to
oh
do a One Punch Man cosplay.
it's so that like that all those characters are so fun to do. Like I feel like some people think it's like rude that like, like I'm totally open to like humoring like bald characters. And I'm like, no, I'm totally fine. Like I don't mind like dressing up as them. It's totally fun.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so fun, and it's like an easy costume too, and a really good costume because it's automatically going to be super unique, but then it's also like just funny too, depending on the character.
Yeah. But, like I feel like every day like we can have like a cost like it's a Halloween for every day for us. Like we can dress up as like how we feel like, you know what I mean? Like we can do like different color wigs, we can do hats, we can do like, outfits. Like I don't
Cap
know.
wraps, like there's literally unlimited options. Yeah.
hmm Like it's so fun to have a variety.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I want to learn how you got into doing tattoos as well, and how you became a tattoo
Oh,
artist, and like what made you interested in that.
yeah, so I'm a apprentice at the moment, and I started my apprenticeship at the beginning of this year, and so I have always been into art. I love painting, I love charcoal, and like in school too, like I was always like in the art class. So I've always wanted to be a tattoo artist since I was like 12, around 12. So that was like a whole nother thing besides being a content creator and spreading like being an influencer. I wanted to be an influencer, but in the back of my mind I'm like I still want to pursue that tattoo
Mm-hmm.
that I always wanted to be. So yeah, I'm kind of like I'm trying to merge my account into my artwork and myself. So
Yeah, that's so cool. I feel like you could definitely incorporate that. And from what I've seen, like your art is amazing. So
oh thank you.
it's like that's something that would definitely like be great content too. Automatically, it's like people love seeing that.
hmm but yeah,
Awesome.
I feel like it's fun to have besides being like a content creator yourself, like I feel like it's fun to have different varieties. That way you have like options. Like besides being a content creator, I was also in school, so I was studying for my liberal arts. So after I completed that, I was like, let me move on to, tattoos. I want to like do that and then maybe like do other things as well. So I don't know, I'm just dipping in and everything and trying to do everything all at once.
I feel like that's the way to do it, honestly. Just like to explore. It's like do a thing for as long as you enjoy doing it, and then once that becomes something, maybe you want to start exploring something else. It's nice to
hmm
always have options.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of like alopecia confidence, let's say someone is like just starting to lose their hair. Is there any piece of advice you would give them going
Um,
through that?
I would say, to keep it real, you will deal with like your lowest of the low. Like, you'll feel low and you'll feel different. Like it's very hard to like even be in public and knowing that you have like, a condition going on that will change your life. So I keep it in mind, like I keep a reminder with myself and like in my bio, like to just be yourself.
Hmm.
And I also like to use, like I also I like to listen to podcasts and sometimes like gain like there's alopecia people who does podcasts, and like there's Instagram influencers who like share their stories. Like all those people's like stories and advices like helps um with confidence. And I feel like when I didn't have that when I was younger, I used my bullying and all the negative stuff that I dealt with as like a confidence boost. But I feel like for people who just recently lost their hair, I feel like there's so many content creators and influencers out there that will like like inspire you in some way with their story, and know that you can make it with this hair loss and it's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a big tip right there. Is just like follow a bunch of people on social media
Oh
who also
yeah.
have alopecia and
Mhm.
just see the wide variety of people that exist out there that are all thriving, look amazing, like living their best life. And it
Mhm.
doesn't have to mean like having alopecia doesn't have to mean that you can't do those things.
Oh yeah. Like the community is so strong. Like there's so much there's so much people that I know that share and like create such good organizations, and they spread such good awareness for the alopecia community, and I love it. Like I am so like proud that I'm, a part of the community, because like we're making it, the new norm, but like also a change in
Yeah, definitely.
like with the people. I love sharing that I have alopecia a lot. So whenever like someone comes up to me, like I like to just share my story, um, tell them, like I have so many like beautiful alopecia friends out there, like throughout around the world. Like it's such a good, cool, like close community that we all have. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, and I feel like so many people in this community too are so happy to like give advice or share their story or anything, which can be so
Mhm.
helpful for anyone who's just starting to go through it. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
it can feel really isolating, but knowing that you're not alone in this journey. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
other people who can help out.
Oh yeah, like I'm so grateful that social media is even like a thing, because if it wasn't for that, like, how would people like branch out their brand or like, get their sources? And I feel like social media is such a big like platform for us, because we can like share our like stories, influence others and spread love and, awareness to everybody. So
Yeah.
I
And
love.
yeah, I feel like with social media, it's like I feel like with it's really normalizing alopecia at a much faster rate than it would have without it. Because
Hmm.
it's like generally in like if someone with alopecia lives in a town, usually they're the only person with alopecia for like 100 square miles or whatever. Like
Yeah.
probably an exaggeration, but like that's how it feels. But then on social media, it's like you can see constant all sorts of different types of people.
And like especially like what we were talking about with the like like the little reunions that they have, like that's such
Mhm.
a good thing for especially the young ones who just like just started, like they
Yeah,
look up to, and it's such like a good role model like experience kind of thing that they have.
definitely.
I love that for our community. And
Yeah. Like
yeah.
even though when I went to the alopecia convention, even though I went when I was super young, like the only memories I really have of it that stood out were like seeing people who had alopecia that were older and being like, oh, this is normal. This is like people to look up to. Exactly what you just said. So
Mhm.
that's like so true.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I kind of wish I was able to have the opportunity, although, like, I'm on an island, so it's like, kind of hard, and like the tickets are expensive, but hopefully one day, like, I can, appear, like, I make an appearance, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we can meet, because we're
Yeah, I would love that. That would be
a
amazing.
little.
That'd be so cool. We'll keep an eye out. Whenever, maybe someday there'll be an alopecia convention in Hawaii. So
I hope I'll for sure be there.
yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. You
Yeah.
do like start your own like alopecia community there and like see who you can
Yeah.
find.
Yeah, I love the whole community thing. And I feel like September's always a reminder of like alopecia because like I see so many of like these girls and these guys like stories and you know, it just warms my heart to like know their story and how they became who they are now. So,
Yeah, like seeing their confidence journey and like how they've overcome it and
mm-hmm.
steps they've taken to overcome and just seeing people thrive is just beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
How how was your journey when like throughout your school year, did you ever like go to school bald or did you just kept wearing a wig throughout the whole?
I started wearing wigs consistently when I was probably in like second grade or something.
Okay.
Like in first grade, I wore hats,
Mm-hmm.
and like because you're so young at that age, it wasn't really like that big of a thing. I maybe got some kids asking me questions, but it was never a thing. And then, yeah, I pretty much started wearing wigs consistently from then on, like all through elementary school, middle school, high school, and it got to a point where I was like so secretive about it. It just felt like a weight on my shoulders at all times because like the wig itself was never an issue for me. Like I feel like the wig was easy to wear and things like that for me. But the thing that I almost got like too attached to it in a sense because I never wanted people to know I had alopecia. I wanted people to just believe it was my hair. And
Yeah.
even just people asking me a question about it would just make me so anxious.
Oh my.
And I kept such close tabs on like who knew already, like, oh, which
Yeah.
friends have I told, which haven't I
Oh
told.
my gosh, I did the same thing. Like I had a specific group of friends that like knew and like you know, my classmates who didn't know. So like for those who would question about it, like my friends would like, you know, kind of back me up or like you know,
Yeah,
hide the secret kind of. That's so crazy.
but it's amazing like how much in the back of my head I was constantly thinking like, okay, that person I don't think knows, that person knows, this person I want to tell, but I have to figure out how I'm going to tell them. Like it was such a big deal to me. um,
So sad though because like I feel like for those who had it at such a young age, like it caused low-key like a trauma because it's so much stress for like someone who was so young that had it.
yeah,
Anybody like any of like I'm pretty sure none of my classmates knew how stressed I was like every single day.
mm-hmm.
Like even trying to like protect like, you know, myself and my mindset and stuff because
Yeah, that's so true.
I didn't know what to expect at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's like now I'm like worrying about if your wig looks okay. I remember I was always worried about like my eyebrows, making sure my eyebrows looked even.
oh,
I definitely went through some bad eyebrow phases
oh,
in high school.
like my school pictures, I threw them away. It was like terrible.
It's like some years I'm like, okay, that was a fine eyebrow phase. And then some years I'm like, that was a treacherous eyebrow phase. Nobody can ever see these photos. Like, just like big
But
blocks. Like,
it's so shocking that you started your wig journey at like second grade because I started mine like around sixth grade because I guess I was used to wearing hats so much and I think my classmates by then knew that I was bald. But
mm-hmm.
how was it like wearing a wig such a young age? Like was it
I can't remember that well, but I think because I was wearing like a wig made for kids, and I think it had like silicone strips in it that helped like grip to my head, it was able to stay on pretty well. I probably had a couple of mishaps here and there where I remember one time I was ice skating with my mom.
Oh my god.
And I fell ice skating. I tried to grab her so I wouldn't fall, but it made us both fall. And
Oh,
my wig went flying across the ice.
oh,
But I was so young at the time that it wasn't even like embarrassing. It was just hilarious.
oh my gosh. I
So,
feel
like
like
as a kid, there's like more likely to be mishaps, but like
oh yeah. Like I think for my graduation photo of sixth grade no, I think for my eighth grade graduation, like I had a human hair wig and it was like a bob haircut with bangs.
mm-hmm.
I don't know, you know, Hawaii's humid and hot and
Mm-hmm.
I did not have like, you know, the heat resistant to hold in my curls.
Yeah.
My hair was so poofy in my photos. Like, I was like, why didn't I know this? Like,
That's so funny.
that's like the thing. Like, I can't tell if my hair looks okay, for the photos. So that's what
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
that's the benefit of synthetic wigs too, is it'll like hold its style. So like when I was a kid, I had synthetic, so it's like I
yeah.
didn't really have to deal with styling it or anything. And because it was short, it didn't really get tangled easily.
Oh yeah.
I do remember my third grade picture. We got the pictures back, and the hairline was supposed to be here, and it was like over here. Like, why wouldn't the photographer say something?
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. What the
Yeah. That was really hilarious.
gosh. No, like I think when I was in middle school, I had like a synthetic wig at first, and it was like the straps where like it hooks in the back.
Mhm.
I was like I was so paranoid that it was gonna fall off on my first day.
Mhm.
It's so tight that like my head was like losing circulation, and I
Oh my
almost
gosh.
in class, and I was like, why am I putting so much pressure on myself? Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was too much. Like,
Yeah, it's like things like that when you're so like worried about it all the time. It's like you just have this realization moment. You're like, why am I doing this? Like I could just not wear the wigs if I don't want to, and
oh yeah.
it's fine. But it's
Oh,
really so refreshing to have that kind of like wake up moment.
I know. No, yeah. Now that I think of like about like what I grew up as a kid, I'm like, dang, like I really went through trauma as a child that I didn't think it was trauma at the time.
Because they're just so used to it. I'm like, oh, I guess this is how life is. It's like, well, it doesn't have to be.
Especially the
Yeah,
PE days, like that will forever stick with me.
definitely. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I feel like I've never talked to anyone about that. It's like, wow, someone who can actually relate to that
Oh, that's why
situation. Like, just so ridiculous.
I was like, I'm not the only one that dealt with the same thing.
Gym class is a cruel concept, honestly. Like,
Oh my gosh. Even my PE teachers also knew that I had like a wig on, and they made me like, play volleyball, and like I would get hit in the head, and like my wigs, like, my bangs are like this. I'm like,
oh my
hello?
gosh. That's just unfair. Like, especially if they knew too.
I
They couldn't
know.
just give you a break. Like,
They really didn't like it was crazy. It's
that's
so
so funny.
yeah.
Anyway, it's been so amazing to have you on this live stream, and just like talking to you and hearing your story. And for anyone else like watching, if anyone wants to comment other questions, I don't know if people want to comment questions now, or if anyone's watching this later too, you can always, or if anyone just joined and you want to watch this from the beginning later, it will be on our René of Paris IGTV as well, where you can watch the whole thing there. But I just love being able to have like guests on here to just share our alopecia stories, because it's so funny how there's some differences where like I wear wigs more often and you don't wear wigs as often, and just things like that with how we handle it. But I love like sharing the stories and the comparisons.
Yeah, I know. It's so
Yeah. Especially with like the things that are similar, like our shared experience going through school and like gym class and things like that. Like,
like knowing that you had alopecia at a young age, and I did too, like it's kind of cool to know someone who had it for such a long time.
yeah. It always makes you come up with theories of like what's the cause, because I guess it's still kind of
Hmm.
a mystery.
Like there's so many like memories that I could like remember about my journey.
Yeah.
It's to hear about yours, and like talking stories with you. Like it's so cool to like have the same like similarities in a way of our childhood. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like I haven't like talked to anyone else about that to that extent before. It's like, wow, okay. Yeah. I really wasn't alone in that experience. Like,
yeah.
just literally across the world. You're all the way in Hawaii. I'm in New York. It's like having the same like interactions, but halfway across the world.
There was moments where I felt like I was like Hannah Montana. Like,
Oh my gosh, same. I feel like Hannah Montana helped normalize wigs.
yeah, yeah. She definitely made me feel like comfortable to have a wig, and I'm like, dang, I'm like really living the Hannah Montana life.
I love that. It's honestly so accurate too.
Mhm.
Like, but yeah, is there any other like closing words you want to say before we end the live stream?
Um, Not that I know. I feel like we basically covered most. I would just say like if you're starting, the journey, you just gotta keep like moving forward. You'll get through it, and like to just be yourself. And it's good to ask questions with people who are on social media, because I love like answering questions with those who are dealing with the hair loss. But yeah, just like you know, reach out, ask for advice. Like everyone is totally open to share their story. So
Yeah, definitely. And for anyone watching, definitely go make sure you follow Salas on her Instagram here too. Her posts are amazing. Her tattoo art is amazing.
Oh,
Everything. I love it all. So yes.
much. It was a pleasure to talk, like to speak with you and like, you know the team. You guys are the sweetest people ever. I can't.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. This has been so much fun, and definitely like stay in touch. We'll swap more stories about weird gym class situations.
Yes, for sure. It was nice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Neva. Thank you everyone for watching too. And if you want to go back and rewatch this, it'll be available on our IGTV later, where you can go and watch from the beginning. All right. Thanks everyone. Bye.